Hi, folks. Good morning. Okay, Happy New Year. I hope that you had a great vacation. So, when I see you in class next, you will have finished reading all of Beloved. That's the main goal. So, first, a couple of things. As you know, we've talked about how the final essay is going to be you exploring a theme or connection that connects at least two of our main texts for the semester. So I have posted to Google Classroom like the basic overview of the essay assignment and all that kind of thing. What I'd like you to do today is spend about 10 minutes just starting to think of connections. I've posted a Jamboard, so this is shared with the whole class. I'd like you to write a sticky note on at least three of the slides. And each note should either identify a common theme between the two texts or identify a question that the two texts ask, even if you think ultimately they provide different answers for those questions. So when you have finished that, you're going to get ready to think about the ending of Beloved. So, just a quick recap, because I know it's been 11 days since you've looked at this book. Here's where we left things at the last reading. Setha has she's been fired from her job because she keeps showing up late. So she and Denver and Beloved are just in the house, and Beloved is increasingly demanding, right? She wants the best of everything, and increasingly that means that Seth is not getting enough to eat, right? Beloved is literally getting all of the food. Setha is just trying to give Beloved everything she asked for, and she's constantly apologizing and sort of trying to get Beloved to understand why Setha did what she did, why she killed her child. And Beloved doesn't understand, right? She's angry about it. She's resentful, and she no matter what Setha says, it doesn't make it go away. And many of you pointed out that Setha is literally shrinking. She's starving while Beloved is growing. And not only is Beloved growing, but she looks pregnant. So all of this makes Denver realize that up until now, she's sort of been watching to see, like, what if Setha does something violent? And something clicks, and she realizes, oh no, Beloved's the real danger here. And so this pushes Denver to leave the yard for the first time in her life in order to help her mother. She asks for help from her neighbors. She finds them ready to give it. And then, as several of the women in the community hear about Beloved, they decide that no matter what they think about Setha and what she did, what's happening to her shouldn't happen to anyone. That no one deserves to just be beaten up by their past the way that is happening to Setha. So they go to the house to vanquish the ghost. And then, when Mr. Bodwin comes to pick Denver up for work, Setha doesn't know about this. All she sees is a white man in a hat coming into her yard. She seems to think it's school teacher. She runs to attack him with an ice pick. And it's not quite clear at the end of the chapter, but it looks like Denver and the women like sort of surround her and try to stop her. So that's where we left off. Some observations that you made in class. We noticed that what Setha's dynamic with Beloved in this section suggests is that Setha does feel guilt. She does feel horror over what she did with her baby. Even though, like she explained her logic to Paul D earlier, even though she hoped that when Beloved came back, it meant that the baby wasn't even mad. We see that like Setha is not. It's not that she's not easy with her decision, right? It's very much like continuing to torment her and to eat away with her. Many of you pointed out that what seems to be the turning point for this family is where Denver actually reaches out to the community and asks for help, as Setha has not done in years. But and this is why I love Toni Morrison, because she never lets anything just be black and white. I don't think it's at all. It's not nearly as simple as like, well, Setha was too proud. She should have asked for help, right? It's all her fault. I don't think that's how it works, right? Like, yes, it's important for Denver to, like, realize, "Oh, no, it's okay to ask for help, right? I don't need to be too proud to do this." But we also see, the community sort of recognizing, "Oh, we should help Setha now, but also, oh, we should have helped her before," right? That, they, I think, are sort of admitting to themselves now that when they were younger, their resentment over baby Sug's good fortune kept them from supporting her and supporting Setha in the way that a community should do. When they return to Setha's house, they're all sort of put back in the past, right? They see their younger selves like sitting on the yard at the barbecue. So that final scene where they show up for Setha and sing for her is sort of a do-over of the party scene from years ago when they didn't show up for her then. And in terms of this scene echoes the original scene with school teacher in many ways, but of course there are key differences. This time, Setha attacks the white man and not her children. This time, the white man does not intend them harm. And this time her community appears to stop her. So keep all of those things in mind as you read the final chapter. One observation I do want to make, and we've talked about this before, is that is that the white people in the book, both the abolitionists like the Bodwins, but also school teacher, don't really hold Setha fully responsible for the killing. I mean, she goes to jail, but she only goes for a few months, and the Bodwins get her out. But Setha's community, the Black community, including those who have experienced slavery as Setha has done, they do judge her, right? Like Paul D, Ella, Stampede, even Baby Suggs. Baby Suggs doesn't condemn Setha, but neither is she able to say, like, yes, I get it. Yes, I understand. Yes, I think you did the right thing. Um, and I think one question this raises is, why is this? And how can holding someone accountable also be a sign of respect? And I think one thing to consider is that even abolitionists like the Bodwins, their attitude towards Setha and Baby Suggs is still condescending, right? Like, yes, they want to help them. Yes, they believe that slavery should be outlawed. But the Bodwins, like the good white people Bodwins, have in their home, they have that really racist statue of like the little boy kneeling, right? Like it's they do not see Black people as equal at all. And that Setha's community doesn't look at her and say, oh, well, I mean, what she went through, of course you would do this. They look at her and they go, I went through hell and I didn't do this, right? Like they're not so quick to be like, oh, she couldn't help herself. That they, I think, in a way, give Setha I think the respect and the courtesy of saying, no, 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 I hold you to the same high standards that I hold myself to, and that makes it a little thornier and a little more complex for them. So your homework is to read the rest of Beloved. It's not that long. You start on page 310. You're going to go, I think, up to page 322. And I'd like you to respond to the reading questions I've posted, and they're pretty short. First, I'd like you to tell me, after you finish the book, what are between 1 and 3 main takeaways? What are your sentences where you're like, okay, so I think this is what I'm taking away from this novel. And I'd also like you to list a couple of questions that you still have, or if you don't have like your own questions right now, what are questions you think the novel raises in the end? What are questions that Morrison asks us to think about? That's it, folks. I will see you tomorrow when you finish the book. Have a great day.